Hello and welcome to my collection tour of my epiphytic cacti 2024. In this episode I'm going to focus on epiphyllum, it is a cactus and Selencereus. So I'm going to show you what new plants I got to my collection, and I will update you about my unrooted cuttings. And I'm going to show you what some plants may flower like next year, because the seller gave me permission to show his photos, and also what flowered for me this year. And here you can see Aporo cactus, and I already made a video about my small collection of those plants, so check it out. So as you can see, there are quite a lot of new plants. I'm showing you here their names, because they all look kind of the same, so nothing spectacular. And you may notice there is a copper tape around the pot, because unfortunately epiphyllums are a good treat for snails and slugs. As you can see, even there is some damage caused by them despite this copper tape. And also now I put a bit of Vaseline cream around the pot, which is supposed to deter them. Well, we'll see. So they put out some new growth, which is good, and I place them in separate pots, but in one pot, bigger pot, just to hang them, so just to save on some space in my greenhouse. And why I didn't put them all together? Because somebody who has got tons of knowledge when it comes to epiphyllum and experience, years of experience, told me that it's better to put them separately, because some of cuttings might be stronger than the others. So those stronger ones, over time, if they were all put together in one pot, the roots will grow quicker, to the detriment to the roots of the other weaker hybrids. So I bought them off eBay and off the cactus shop, and in the cactus shop there was this information card attached, which says that the plants must have a bright light for blooms, filtered light, minimum of 5 degrees Celsius in winter, around 40 Fahrenheit, water once a week in summer, less in winter, rainwater is the best, feed tomato fertilizer Feb to April for blooms, and a balanced fertilizer for the rest of summer. Don't fertilize June, July, when it's very resting period, and no feed October and January. And I will come back to the care tips a bit later on in this video, because now I want to just quickly mention that when I got quite a few plants from the cactus shop, some of them were in buds, but only 2 survived, because some of them were eaten by snails. Again, it's a recurring topic of this video, as you will see. And some of them, I think they may have got stressed during the transport and they fell off. And these are the flowers of the plants that I bought off eBay. Aren't they beautiful? Some of them they are bicolor. And the person who sold them, he feeds them as well with tomato fertilizer from early spring to the late summer, half strength. And here let's have a look at the cuttings when I got last year from Lynn of Desert Plants of Avalon. They were unrooted, and now they put out new roots. And here they are those that I got from Abby Crook's nursery, and I made a video when I was rooting them, so check it out. So let's see if they are rooted. So I'm pulling gently, so this one came off easily, so as you can see there are no roots, whereas the others they pull out. I'm pulling and there is a slight resistance, so there are some roots. Some have got small roots like here, and also some of them put out new growth, so it means they are rooted. So those that they haven't rooted, I'm going to cut off the ends, sprinkle with rooting powder and try again. And the last one, it started to rot, so I cut it off and I put it to root in the water with some perlite, but it didn't take off. So again, I cut it off, a bit of it started to rot again. So I cut it off, and you can see this white powder, this is a rooting powder. And I'm trying yet again in a soil, so fingers crossed. So let's see what flowered for me this season. Let's start with a winter flowering Epiphyllum Leon Herrick hybrid. The color in the photos are not exactly what it is. It's between pinkish and red, but stunning plant, medium-sized flowers, but it flowered in winter and again in summer. That's why you were going to see it again. And here we've got Frühlingsgold, one of my favorite ones, because the flowers, they've got amazing scent. They are quite big and just gorgeous colors. You can see kind of almost gold, as the name would suggest, gold yellow, and they lasted quite a few days, the same like of Leon Herrick. And I've read that the varieties that produce small and medium-sized blooms, up to like 5 inches, 30 centimeters in diameter, are more prolific in their flower production and they last longer on the plants, whereas those with larger blooms, even up to 31 centimeters in diameter, they last a couple of days. So this is from information from the eBay seller. And here you can see my Epiphyllum piverti. This is how it's supposed to bloom. And it produced the very first bud for me. Unfortunately, I dropped the plant and the bud dropped off, so I couldn't see. Now, I mentioned before that I got some plants with buds from the cactus shop, and only 2 plants with ovate buds survive. So this is the first one, W.C. Clark. Quite not so big cutting, but it already flowered, and I can't remember if there was any scent to it, but the flower is quite big and with beautiful colors. This is how it opened the most. So you can see outer petals are kind of orangey and then they change into yellow goldish color. Just stunning. Another one is Epiphyllum ackermanni, which is quite popular. And again, this one produces big flowers, quite a lot of them. They are just gorgeous. And again, they last for a few days. Some of those Epiphyllum, they flowered for even up to a week. And during the day, so I didn't notice they were closing during the night. I keep all my epiphytes in my own potting mix, which includes Pumex or perlite or both of them, horticultural grit, sand, orchid bark, active charcoal, and a bit of Jones is number 2. So it's really draining. And the next one, so this is the other one which bud survived. And this is only what I can show you because I had to go to Poland to visit my friends and family, and unfortunately the flowers opened when I was over there, and my cat sitter sent me this photo. And here again, back to Leon Herrick, which, as I mentioned before, it flowered again in summer, and you can see here the reddish berry, which is fruit, which is ripened, and the one which is unripened has got like a green color. The next one, quite known German Empress, or the other name is shown here. And this plant loves flowering, also abundant of flowers. The unripened one, as you can see, they're pale pinkish, and when they are more mature, it's beautiful pink. And as I said, it flowers profusely, lots of them, and for a long time, almost all summer long it produced flowers. Now, as to pests, mealybugs, like epiphytes, so I treat them with rubbing alcohol or spray them, just to make sure that when after spraying the plant is not in sun, because it may cause burn of the stems. And as I mentioned before, slugs and snakes really like them. And at the end of the season, I use Buckley Ultra Vine Weevil Killer just to control like spider mites, mealybugs, aphids, and vinivi, as the name suggests. And here we can see Epiphyllum pumilum. Oh, this flower this year flowered beautifully. Last year I had, I think, 3 flowers, but this year it just surpassed my expectations. So all in all, I think I counted in summer 16 buds. Some of them dropped off, but altogether I think 14 flowers I counted. Some of them flowered at the same time, some a bit earlier or later. And now when the plant is back home for overwintering, I think there are still like 6 new buds. If they're going to get mature, I'm not sure. But anyway, I was really happy to see so many flowers, and they are big and very sweet scent, really nice. Unfortunately, they start opening in the evening, and they don't last long. They usually close up midday, and for a few days they would flower, but not as long as the other epiphyllum that I showed you earlier. But I was so pleased. So I mentioned overwintering. So all the smaller epiphyllums, like those that are being rooted, and this one and I think other one, I will keep indoors in the house. And I already made last year video about overwintering my epiphytic cacti, so check it out. Whereas other ones, the other big cuttings, rooted ones, I'm going to overwinter in my greenhouse, which is heated. So the heater comes in when there's 5 degrees and keeps at this level of temperature. If it's going to be really cold for a long time, I may bring them home, but first I may try just to rub them in the fleece. I will see it. I know that I don't want to lose any plants like it happened in the winter 2022 when I lost, I think, 2 of my epiphyllums. And moving on, so this is epiphyllum, as you can see the name, and this one is diva. I always got some problems with it. It's a beautiful plant with curly locks, so that's why it's so called commonly as well. You can see twisted stems. Every spring and summer it produces buds, but some of them drop off, get black, and nothing comes of it. Only one during lockdown. So only once only they flowered. So I will put the link to this video. And this year, as you can see, there are quite a few buds, but later on, late summer, it became a bit too wet and not enough sun, a bit colder. So this is how far it went. So no blooms, I'm afraid. So what else is in my collection? So here we've got this Ocactus Epiphyllum anguliger or fishbone. So I put 2 together to make a bit bushy plant and also to save on a space. It hasn't flowered for me yet, and I have also a bit smaller version of it. In my experience, this epiphyllum or this Ocactus is the quickest to root of all my epiphyllums. It's Selencereus antonianus, which is similar, but as you can see, the edges are more pointy. So this is how you can distinguish those 2 plants. And also Selencereus prefers a bit warmer temperatures in winter. and it's got different flowers. The next one, so-called fern-leaf cactus. And again, there's some damage caused by snails, but I'm happy because it produced a new growth, as you could see, and it grows quite big. It's a shy bloomer, it said. It has never bloomed yet for me. All epiphyllums like to be a bit root bound to flower. As far as I know, those plants are not toxic to animals. And this one is Saracuront. You can see that it's got a bit of like bordeaux bronze stems. I think it's because this particular one had too much sunshine, so it got some stress. Usually I keep my epiphytic cacti outdoors in summer, so either under the trees, so they receive like the light, filtered light, or on the fence, so there's morning light, but there is a shade in the afternoon. And here we've got Epiphyllum oxypatellum, and I only kept one stem of it. I had a huge one, but it was too big for me for the space that I've got available. It produced new stems, and it grows really fast and quite big. And here we've got so-called red tip, which apparently is the same like Ackermani. It hasn't flowered for me, so I don't know. And now a few Selencereus in my collection. So I think I've covered everything when it comes to care. I talked about fertilizing, watering, and light, and the potting mix. So I hope you enjoyed my video, my beautiful plants and very gorgeous flowers. And check out part 2 and 3 about Lepismium and Rhipsalis. Bye!